hello and welcome to PM Show, your weekly roundup of what's new and going on at the PM store. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing this morning?
Fine, thank you very much.
Well, yeah, good morning. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Very nice. Matt's got a sharp new haircut. He's now fully
We've
aerodynamic.
got it sussed now. Who goes in order, don't we? How we do it?
Well, this is it. Age before beauty, I think, isn't it? They say.
Yes.
It's taken long enough, hasn't it, to get some coordination.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been doing these shows for a few years and got it sussed. Anyway, it is, as we know, still very quiet in the new releases section coming through, but we've got a couple of new bits that have come in this week, and as always, we are literally just waiting on stuff to turn up. But as I say, we've got a couple of new bits of ICM turned up this week in the form of a nice Yak.
Yes, the Yak 9, is it? The second one. That'd be a really cracking kit, to be honest. You'll get winged one down for a review. So, I think it's not a massive aeroplane either. They're quite small in real life. So, shouldn't be too overly big in 30-second. It'll be definitely cutting Matt size anyway.
Definitely, yeah. And obviously it's 100% new molds as well. So it's a brand new toolkit.
Yep.
Who did the other one? Was it Special Hobby did one, didn't they, a while ago? Did Special Hobby do one?
They did a Yak. Yeah, they did some sort of Yak, didn't they?
Sure, they did the Yak 9, yeah. But that'll be easier build, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully, obviously, the surface detail will be very nice and crispy as well, as we normally see with ICM. So that would be nice. So something from them coming down the line, which, again, not a bad price either, sort of 48 quid. So we've got that one is new in. And then, obviously, we've got the, what's that, a Tupolev TU-T2.
Yep.
Which is a torpedo bomber. Yep. Again, 70-second scale. So probably about the same size.
Interesting subject as well.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see ICM are sort of coming along and pumping them out. We know we've got a lot due in at some point throughout the summer and into the autumn as well with their current future release schedule. So I'm just waiting for squid masks. Squid game masks.
You might be waiting.
I think so. It looks like they might have been dropped, the 1-to-1 scale masks, but you can get the figure, which is 1/12, we were saying, wasn't it? So I think it's 1/12. So we've got those for the figure from Squid Games coming down as well. So like ICM, because they like to do different things. Because we saw, wasn't it, the what they called from Game of Thrones, the Night Warriors, whatever they're called, Ice Warriors. Yeah.
You can buy the whole set of those now, can't you? Because they did them as separates, but now you can buy all three in one box. So
they did the paint set and everything for it as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they do a nice broad spectrum of stuff. That's the thing, isn't it? Obviously, everything from a soldier, British Bobby, wasn't it? Lots of different officers and things like that as well. The Mountie and all things like that as well. So and then right the way through to obviously with your aircraft and various things as well. So they've got a nice collection of kits going on there. So that's nice. Anything else coming in or due in this week?
Yeah, we have got, I think, a pre-order coming in for the P-38s. Tamiya is due in.
Yes.
And I think there might be some other bits in that, but I don't know until it turns up, to be honest. I think it's due in today.
Yeah, what you said about that P-38, I've got an itch to scratch now. After me saying, even when I did the review of that kit and all the rest of it, it doesn't really float my boat. I was inspired by that book we were talking about last week, and it's got like the artwork in there and all the rest of it. And then I watched a YouTube video about it as well. And I'm thinking now, I quite fancy doing one of those because I've never built one. I got close to doing the old, was it Academy one?
I did as well. Because Stinger reboxed it, didn't they? Edard did special boxings of it because you can get a lot of aftermarket for that. They did loads of aftermarket for that version, which you can still get as well. Actually, it's still about, but obviously now the Tamiya ones are. I think the J one. This is the J, isn't it? That's come in. I think that's the one with all the fancy nose arts and you could do a lot of stuff with that one. I've always liked the P-30. I don't know. You're not quite into these twin boom aeroplanes, are you? It's not your thing, is it?
No, I must admit that was it. We were talking about obviously with the Bronco, isn't it? We're saying it's a cool looking aircraft, but it's just weird where it's like twin boom one. But as you say, there is some good ones out there. So, I must admit. Something very nice. And again, it's like you can do European theatre with that one, or obviously the Pacific theatres, because it was obviously in both. So yeah, no, I must admit I've got a little bit of an itch to scratch there, and obviously I've got the Tamiya one here. So I might have been flicking through the box the other day. So
funny how you sort of your interests change, isn't it? Because you was adamant. I just, I remember you saying I just got enough of that plane, just does nothing for me whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then now you're sort of seeing a bit of inspirational artwork or YouTube video or something, and you're kind of like,
oh yeah, you could do.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It does, and it's funny how all it takes is that little seed. And for years, I have no interest in doing lightnings at all. I just don't particularly like the shape with twin booms and stuff. And now I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. So you watch. Next, I'll be doing obviously the Bronco then, and then we'll do the what's the jet?
The Vampires.
The Vampires. Red twin boom
what's
collection.
The thing you keep buying? You might the Bristol.
The transport one.
Yeah.
Oh, the Argosy.
Argosy, that's
that's a big twin boom thing, isn't it? And I quite like the other one. What's the Italeri one that they used to do? They did a Stinger version of it. The Transport US from the 50s and early 60s.
I know the one you mean. Yes, yeah.
You know the one I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah.
And then there's that Ella one, the French Nautilus, is it? Again, I just find them interesting. Yeah, they're just different to me because of how they've been designed. And I suppose, really, for transport, it doesn't make sense because obviously tails are out the way and you've got a big loading area at the back. So why it sort of fell out of fashion.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know, but some interesting twin boom aircraft out there. But
we could have a SIG or a group build, twin boom SIG.
It might be a bit limited. I don't know if there's that many.
I don't know. It's probably one of those things. When you do a bit of homework on it, you'll find hundreds. It's just all the unknown ones. But again, interesting concepts with them. So, but pretty smart stuff with that one.
Just need a lot of nose weight, don't you?
You do, yes. Lots, and or super glue the nose down to the mat.
Exactly. So. But yes, as in new arrivals, we're just a bit quiet again at the minute. Just something needs to happen. Something just needs to. There's a lot of potentials, but nothing actually getting here.
No,
that time of year, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but we were saying that three months ago.
Well, again, I think it's that thing, isn't it? We just come off the back of COVID, and then obviously the troubles in Ukraine with those types of things. It's making that perfect storm where people are sort of delaying. And now, obviously, we've got the costs going through the roof as well. I know talking to other people about it in different industries is that some of them are delaying stuff, hoping the fuel prices will drop, which makes it more affordable to import. So, again, it may be just that thing. People are thinking the same thing, and manufacturers as well. We're just going to stretch it out a little bit if we can until hopefully the prices return a little bit more to normal. So, coming off the back of the transport cost problem.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of factors to take into consideration in there, obviously, but just stuff's trickling in. It's just a pedestrian sort of rate, isn't it? So,
but in some areas, things are returning to normal because apparently ISO containers are getting cheap again. If you want to buy one, because the world's flooded with them, and for your computer GPUs, isn't it, for your graphics cards? Because now the bottom's fallen out of mining, and stuff on your graphics card, they're being kicked out dirt cheap as well. So some things now are starting to return to normal. So hopefully this, in the modelling world, will follow suit as well. But I can imagine we'll get past the summer holidays and breaks and that. And again, everything will start to let loose, and we'll start to find the companies trampling over each other to get stuff out for the fourth quarter of this year, which is what I think most of them are doing as well. So again, we've got lots of stuff, future releases and things being mentioned, but no real info on it yet. So it's very hard to, sort of talk about it and say, because we don't want to jump the gun.
No, I'll tell you something that is happening sort of this week that will be interesting over in the Netherlands is the World Model Expo.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on that because that will be, some big players going there, and I think it'll be a very good show. I would have liked to have gone. It was one of the shows, because obviously it travels around a bit, doesn't it? And I think it was kind of mentioned because it was going to be COVID, weren't it? And then it obviously got cancelled because of the COVID. I don't know, we were on about going on a road trip at one point and doing it, weren't we? But I think that's this. Is it this weekend?
It's this weekend. Yeah, I do believe it's this weekend.
So if you go in, enjoy it, because I think it'll be, it's a good venue actually. It's a nice venue. When we went, it's the same place.
It is like something from The Shining.
You what, sorry?
It's like something from The Shining building.
It is a little bit, yeah. It is an old monastery, isn't it? It's an old monastery or something, but it is, yeah.
You can have your nice room there, but it's like 6x3. It's like a cell.
Yeah. Do a lot of meditating.
Yeah, that's it. So, but yeah, interesting place. Me and Matt went a few years ago just for the normal show, and it was absolutely fantastic. Great venue. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's great to meet a lot of you as well. So, yes.
Surprised you can remember anything about it.
Yeah,
well, right. I remember everything about that. somehow. It's a really, actually, it is a really nice venue. It's got a lot of space and big halls, and it should be good for that. So, yeah, if you go and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so anything else? As I say, it's so quiet, it's difficult to think of things to put in here. Specials, have we got any new specials left over from the weekend?
No, we've taken everything out that was on over the weekend, so that we've got to, we'll put some new up for the weekend, won't we, Matt?
Yeah, we'll have a look tomorrow and stuff and see what we've got left, because we were quite successful Saturday. It was a good... Sort of made some good sales and everything. So
yeah, absolutely. I say all the orders have gone out now from my side of things. I think Matt's have as well. So they'll all be winging their way to you. And but yeah, thank you to everybody who supported us and bought a few things as well. I had a great day, I must admit. I've actually got primer on the model. I'm like Andy because I've been only building it since beginning of the year. And now I'm in the primer stage.
Hey, it's the journey, not the destination.
It's the journey.
Mine got finished.
That's it. It's there. He's done. But,
he takes some pictures of it.
Yes, I must admit, I put mine in a box, a proper sealed box to keep it nice and safe and all together because it has been moved around. But I have had a bit of a clear out here. I've actually got a full bench for once. So it is nice to have a bit of space and a clear up. But no, it's great to everybody who joined us at the weekend. Don't forget, you can go back and watch it as a replay. It is available on the old YouTube or on Facebook and stuff like that. So if you want to go back and watch it, you can do it at any point. But yes, very nice down there. I see you got the Italeri Hawks in. So we've got the Black Hawks, which are good kits.
I'm thinking after watching your build of your Seahawk, actually. From a few years ago, and to be honest, there's not many options for that for a Black Hawk or anything. I don't know why they don't re-release the Seahawk actually, Italeri. I know it's not, watching your build, it's a bit of a handful. I don't know if you'd tackle that different now if you did it again. I don't know if you could.
There's not many ways to it. It's one of those which is just it's quite complicated, and like the glass work and things on there, it's that usual thing with older school helicopters, the way they did it. And those can cause some fit issues and some problems as well. And there's not many ways you can make clear part. If the fuselage is like this, you've got your clear part. It's not like you can half it and do it. And it's one of those with it. The only thing that's nice, I will say, with those ones, both of those kits, I do believe, or definitely the Black Hawk ones, does come with the miniguns. Because I actually, for that kit that I did, which is the video build that's up there, was the HH60 I did, which is the earlier one to the MH60K. And that one doesn't come with, or the older kit didn't come with miniguns, but actually they do with the Black Hawk version. So I had two kits here, so I pinched the guns from that to use on the other one as well. So it does come with a full weapon suite as well on the Black Hawks.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, actually, not a lot of options in 48 to do any of their versions, is there? I'm trying to think. I think that's where obviously the Wessex is being re-released in 48, and that's why I think Italy are very good at doing the 48 helicopters, because they've done the little bubble helicopter from like MASH.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, what's that? The oh god, I can't remember its designation now.
It's the native Indian name, isn't it? Is it
a soy or whatever it's called, something like that? Yeah, I know.
But again, if you look at the options, decal options are always really quite good with Italeri kits. They always give nice schemes, even if the kit's an old Reeboks. You always get some nice decals with it. It's a shame they don't sell the decals separate.
Yeah, yeah.
But the helicopters, like I said, they do some decent helicopters, and hopefully they'll start re-releasing them again. So yeah, I've seen them. I thought get them in. Obviously, the Wessex is coming back in. They do the old flying banana, don't they?
Yes.
Which don't look bad kit, and I say even their Iroquois kits aren't too bad for 48, are they?
No, not at all. Yeah,
I think Hueys are all right.
Yeah,
they're not bad.
The Huey
kits,
family. That is the thing. I think people overlook Tallery for helicopters, but as you say, they do pretty much them all. Some of them are the older ones, admittedly, but they do a nice selection the way through.
Yeah, they do.
I see.
Yeah. Go on.
I was about to say that I see that they posted up some test shots of the F-35 up on YouTube.
Oh, the B.
148th one, yeah, the B. Looks quite nice.
Yeah,
the test shots. The surface detail doesn't look overdone on the test shots. Might be possibly the one to get.
Hopefully, again, I appreciate the trouble that you've got. A lot of the manufacturers, they wanted to be the first to release an F-35 and stuff like that. And because of that, they all use the information from the prototypes. And again, because nobody could actually get your hands on one, you can't buy a technical manual for one or anything else like that. So a lot of them are just going off of photos and stuff. But the surface area for the RAM, which is usually the lighter color strips, the tape system onto it, just overdone by everybody. Or as you say, the ones that sort of got it right was Hasegawa with their 72nd one. That was actually really nicely done, and why I built that one, because it came as a decal option for it. But obviously, if you look at the modern ones now, they don't even have it. Yeah. So, as you say, we've actually got one of our members who works on them in manufacturing, and he was discussing that the tape nowadays, it's a newer system for it. So they don't have those big bandy systems. So hopefully, as you say, it's always been my bugbear is that Hasegawa traditionally used to mould it in very heavily because it did it on the Raptor. And that's why I preferred the Academy kit, because the Academy kit has it as panel lines, but it's not all over it. So it's easy to back paint it and mask it and do it yourself or use the decals. But if it's raised, there's no getting away from it because you need to sort of take the height out of them a bit, and it just makes it a little bit fiddly. So hopefully now, though, the newer batches now are a bit more understood because obviously you can get close to them now, and hopefully the designers have got it right. So, but again, that'll be an interesting one because let's face it, it's growing on me, the Lightning as well, I must admit. When it first came out, I had no interest, but there's even an aggressor version of it now. Have you seen that one? It's in splinter camo.
All right.
So that makes it quite interesting. So you can get something. It's not just a boring grey, slick, no detail to them. You can do quite a bit with them as well. So it's nice to see those coming down the line, definitely.
Yeah, but when we get a confirmed price and box art and everything, we'll bang up for a pre-order.
Yes. Definitely. And obviously we've still got our slightly damaged box ones as well, which that's a great kit that we were talking about at Corsair the other day. And that's a great one because it comes with the tug as well. So very nice
that's
kit.
A cracking kit. Yeah, of course it is a cracking kit.
Yeah.
And the 109 actually. If you want a simple 109 and early one, that Tamiya one's a really good kit.
Yeah, definitely. And the money, like, me and Matt have done an entire show on this, but, the prices that you pay, like 26 quid for a 48 scale Corsair. The Corsair is a big aircraft as well. It's not small. So to be honest, that's a bargain. And it is actually a really nice kit. So grab those whilst you can. As you say, that 109, it's very much the old way. Simple. Good design, goes together. It's a bit like when they did their... I don't know, I got a bit of flamed because I said it a few months ago, but their 48 scale old school Mustang. Because it's a simple, straightforward, goes together. And if you are coming from old school to new school modeling, you have to imagine if you built that in the 90s, it was like, it doesn't need filler. It was one of those first kits that you put together and it just goes together with no issues whatsoever, or it certainly was when I was building them. And from my point of view, it was amazing. But now, obviously, I got a bit of heat from it because people said, oh, but it's not accurate, it's this, that. But I was talking from back then. Nowadays, obviously, there's more modern kits of it out there, and they're amazing. But from its day, it was absolutely phenomenal. Really good kit. But still one of my favourite kits of all time.
The Kawasaki Ninja's a newish kit as well, isn't it? That's a fairly new one. And the Matilda's, also a cracking kit.
Yeah,
they're really nice. Builds nicely.
Obviously, the Hurricane is the old Italeri kit, though. So that's the thing with that. The Hurricane, isn't it? It's the Italeri Hurricane, that is.
Yeah,
it's one of the few reboxes that they've done in 48. So 72nd, Yeah, all over it. But 48 scales, not many reboxes that Tamiya do, but that's one of them. So I know some people have asked me about that one and said, "Oh, is it new? Because I didn't know they did it." It's like, no, it's an older kit.
I've just noticed that's not on sale, but it should be. I'll do that after the show.
It will shortly. The price will change.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time we watch this, the price will have changed.
It'll be significantly cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, some trucks and various bits and pieces down below as well. So obviously, if you want to grab any of those, you can do as well, just down in there. We've still got a 25% sale going on as well. Yep. Which is just the last of it, the bits and pieces as it goes out. When this goes out of stock, obviously it's not going to be restocked. So if you fancy grabbing anything in here, these are all brand new kits. They're not damaged boxes or anything else like that. And they're all 25% off. So if you want to grab some of these, and we've got some really nice stuff in here, you can do. It's just that we've got lots of them. And we're having a thin out of the warehouse. So if you want to grab any of those, grab them now.
Those slave ones, they're on, special.
Extra special.
Yeah, well, it's 25% off, but good price we've got for them. So, yeah.
So yes, nice kit.
Very nice. Worth grabbing to build along with Phil when he does his.
Yes, I will do. Yeah, I might be doing two together.
Do we have any bell kits stuff left in there?
No, it's all gone.
It's all gone. I was looking this morning how much the price has changed on those over the past few weeks.
Yes,
things
are definitely going up.
There's a few other brands that will be going up as well from what I've been having emails and reading. So I can't say what they are, but trust me, it's scary actually. What potentially they could go up to, some of the brands.
The latest bell kits rally cars now are 76 quid.
Yeah.
So, which is
a lot in it.
It is scary.
Talking of rally cars, that's a good segue. Good to pre-orders.
Except it's not a rally car, but hey.
It is.
Isn't.
What, the Escort?
Yeah. What is it then?
It's early iteration of
Is it a touring car?
Yeah.
Anyway, same thing. It's an Escort Mark II and it's the proper one. Proper livery. The Zac Speed.
Yes.
I've seen a few versions of the Mark II Escort, but obviously the Zac Speed one is the next one out, so it's quite a nice scheme.
I must admit, it does make me laugh. Speaking of Escorts, you know that advert on TV where you can enhance your credit score by a credit thing and all the rest of it, and he stands there with a car and he's got a beaten up Escort, looks like a Mark II, right? And he's got tape on it, and I'm thinking, if it runs, that's probably worth a few quid. I don't know what he's worried about. I wish I had a banged out old one, because if he's got an Escort and actually it runs, that's actually worth probably more than his second car that he flicks through when he goes through. Because if he's actually got a running sort of Mark II Escort, he'll be all right with that.
That's not a good sort of comparison, is it? Having that, because like I say, probably that as it was probably 20 grand's worth of car, just a battered out Escort.
Just because it's an Escort, absolutely. But it obviously drives because it's in the car park, so it's like, there you go. If you've got a running Escort, you're sitting on some good money there. But yeah, it's not a good advert. Oh God, look at
I wonder why they picked that. That's just an odd thing to pick for the advert as well, isn't it? So.
Yeah, definitely.
Not exactly relevant, are they?
I was going to say, it must have been quite hard to find one to use on the advert.
Yeah.
That was the thing. You could have used any other car, but they picked that. It was like, really?
Yeah.
Anyway, we got one of those up. So that's up at a bargain price of £32.39. So if you want to put your pre-order down that, members, you can do. Obviously, it's in the main site. The one that I did like, which you put up yesterday, I did see, is the Bunny one.
Guns Bunny, yeah.
Guns Bunny, again.
What's it? It's B25.
You can't call it Bugs Bunny, clearly, but it looks like that says Bugs Bunny, unless it's going to say something else. But for legal reasons, they can't actually call it Bugs Bunny, so they call it Guns Bunny. So, what's not to love about B25? Have you made any start on yours yet, Matt, or are you just playing with the plastic?
No, I have made a tentative start, but I'm trying to get my figures finished off the Wimic, which I was doing yesterday, and then I can actually just concentrate on doing that, because then I'm kind of up to date. So I've got something coming in for the Wimic for a base for it, but obviously that'll be when it arrives. I'll just a company I want to try that we get from AK actually do them. So that looks interesting. But it's well, like I say, I made a bit of a start on it and a little bit of a recording, but I'll be getting into it, like I say, once I've just cleared these figures out of the way.
Fair enough. So that one we're talking about is the 48 scale old monogram one, but this is obviously the Hasegawa kit, 72nd scale.
Brilliant kit, that is an absolute, just really by far best in scale versions of a B25. It's a brilliant, because obviously we had the Angels of Mercy version before. Was that last year or year before? Can't remember how long ago it was, and obviously this is another version of the B25. But you're going to get some cracking schemes in that again. That nose art and schemes and stuff. But again, they had some really, really good ones. So.
Very nice. Yeah. Anyway,
do you know what I'm surprised they've never done? You know how Edard have reboxed the B24s?
Yes.
Did they ever do the? I don't think they've ever done the. The star signs ones, did they? Can you remember them ones where you could do the Geminis, Cancers?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, they did a. There was a squadron of them, didn't they? Where they had the nose arts.
Yeah.
And they've never done that, have they?
No.
And it's like, I wonder, because they've obviously done the old Academy versions you built.
Yeah.
They did some, I can't remember what schemes were in them though at all. And then obviously they did the 2 Coastal Command ones.
Yes. Yeah.
But they're quite famous B24s, aren't they? So you would have thought perhaps
they would have done
that would
series.
be a good one to do. Or even the assembly ship ones.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done that, because, as I say, I know there's obviously decal manufacturers who do them, but the assembly ship ones are brilliant. I think they did. Was it Hasegawa when they released theirs? One of the boxings was the assembly ship one, because it was the polka dot one all over it.
The polka dot one. That sounds. It was a polka dot one, weren't it? But there were quite a few of them, weren't they? Because they were just like the knackered ones, just to get everybody in formation, weren't it? And then
they come back.
but the colour schemes on them were just obviously bright and gearish to.
Oh God, yeah.
That's what they needed, but I'm actually surprised. Perhaps somebody will do it. You don't know. It could be something they're planning. You don't know, but as in famous sort of bombers, like you say, the star sign ones were quite well known, aren't they? So
yeah. Strange that. Did you say?
They obviously watch this, so. Next year, you'll see it'll be out. So we can say, "Told you so." that'd be good.
Right. Okay. What else have we got down in here?
Got the Wildcat up for pre-order. I've just put the box art up for that. So
the neutral Wildcat. That's going to be. Oh look, it's got 0. There's a dual combo coming out.
There's the dual combo system. Yeah. Again, so this is the Profi Pack one. Again, very nice one.
I built the Tamiya Wildcat. There's obviously the RB Boss Wildcat that I've never seen one of them. I don't know why that, but I think, to be honest, that's going to be the one to get now. And once Edard's got their head round it and decided that's what they're doing, that's going to be really, really nice. And then obviously the aftermarket stuff, they're going to, you're going to get an engine probably and wheels and cockpits and all the brassing and I don't know, look, cockpits.
For it. You'll be able to throw everything. It's going to be amazing,
to be honest. It's going to be a really nice kit. So, as soon as they're in and out, Phil will be getting one for review.
Yeah.
Getting his.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see a Corsair next year or something. Or,
do you know what? I've already said that. I think it's definitely on the cards because they're just doing that range. Obviously we've seen the Hellcat for years now, and obviously with the Wildcat, see the Corsair coming along. They've done the Zero. It's just it would be filling the gap. If they didn't do it, I'd be very surprised. And let's face it, the Tamiya one is showing its age now. It's still a great kit.
Yeah.
But, obviously with them doing it, it would be on another level, and the aftermarket available for the Corsair as well. So, there'd be lots of boxes they could tick for doing that as well. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. But,
so where else are you going to go? Because there's obviously rumours about the Hurricane, isn't there?
Well, yeah.
So, because obviously a lot of single-engined piston fighters, that's where they're going, isn't it? So what's kind of left? I don't know. They're covering a lot of base. They've done Spitfires, haven't they? They've done Mustangs. They've got the Zero. What about a P40?
I was going to say, P40 definitely on the cards. But if you look at it, obviously they've got the 109s covered, the 190s covered.
Yeah.
So it makes sense just to fill in those other ones.
If they did a P40, I would actually be all over that.
Yeah.
Because there's a good few versions as well they could get through. So it's not like a one and done, is it? So, don't know, it'd be interesting perhaps. we will see. We will see what the future holds for him.
Yeah.
But again, like we spoke before, it's actually, in some ways, it may have pushed them, and I'm only speculating, I don't know, but it may have pushed them to be thinking of their own tooling stuff now, moving away from the Reeboxes, because as we know, some of the Reeboks problem they've been having is because now various kits with obviously troubles in Ukraine has delayed and put things back and everything else like that. And, as we know, they can do it all fantastically in-house. So, it may be that they might have thought, because of the problems in the world, we can do it all in-house. It saves all that problems of getting kits and stuff, especially obviously across from the Far East and that across. So that started doing their own a little bit more. And,
But it kind of makes sense for them, doesn't it? They can produce really good kits, so why not produce your own instead of having the Reeboxes,
Yeah. But
yeah,
as the single engine fighters... Sorry?
I said there's subject matter that they don't cover that they've reboxed, which is fair enough, isn't it? Like the MI-24 Hind in 48. Well, they're never going to produce one of them, or in 72nd, and like I say, it's another stuff that they've done. The Hasegawa stuff, for instance, but they've always been good, solid kits. The Hasegawa ones, haven't they? That they've reboxed, and obviously, Hobby 2000 are doing the same sort of thing. As we've got up on pre-order of re-releasing. Or reboxing, and re-releasing sort of Hasegawa stuff. It's a bit like what I suppose Hobby 2000 are doing, what Revell used to do.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
And fair play to them, because like I say, they are good kits that they're doing.
Yeah.
So, not readily available anymore over here, are they? I think that's where or in Europe, I think with Hasegawa kits, they're just not that readily available, and it seems to make sense for somebody to own spin on it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Again, it's funny because in some ways you think it's like that, but then obviously Academy are reboxing the Revell Rafale. So, isn't it? So again,
but that's a good kit, isn't it? Again, if you pick the right kits, like from Revell or whoever, there's good, solid kits out there that perhaps aren't readily available anymore. That why not rebox it? It's not rubbish that they're reboxing.
No.
So,
no, not at all.
I mean, their A10, we were on about Academy's A10. I think somebody's asked about it. Was it last week or whatever? I just hope we can get the numbers.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a very sought after and people are going to want it. It's if we can get the numbers in the UK in general to fulfil supply and demand, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Because we know Academy for us is very hit and miss and sporadic, which is a shame because, like I said, there's some fantastic kits.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool. Very nice. Any other pre-orders you want to mention?
We've shut the Red Tails one. That's actually gone in. That should be due within the next week or two.
Yeah.
The Wessex we had to shut. We shut that on Monday. We've got good numbers on that. So the Italy Wessex, that's in the system to be obviously when that arrives in the country. I don't think you've put any others up, have you? Apart from the.
No, there's. I'm going to put the one we talked about before we came on. Obviously not up there, is it?
No. There is something we're going to put up. Once we get a price, is the KP Models Bulldog.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little Scottish Aviation Bulldog in 72nd, which is going to be due out at some point. But we've got no price on that. As soon as we get a price, we'll put that. Because I think that, again, there's 4 different variants. We'll just put one pre-order up and you just say which one you want.
One you want.
But again, apart from the old Airfix one that's the old... I think has Tarangus done. Somebody else has done one. Trangus, I think, has done one in 48, perhaps. Yeah. I think. There's not many options out there for the Bulldog. I actually thought Airfix would do one.
Yeah.
Which they might do. You never know. They might do one, but.
Did someone do a resin one?
I don't think so. That was the Tucano, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did the Tucano, which was
they did Tucano, but I thought.
I don't know. They could be. I can't think of one. But yeah, interesting little aeroplane, isn't it?
It is, and as I said, if you were doing the lineage and going back, there's a gap there that Airfix could jump into a 48 scale one because it's done all the others. So
and again, to be fair to them, I think the Tucano, actually an accurate Tucano wouldn't be a bad shout for them to get on board with trainers to go again with the, like you say, from the Tiger Moth to whatever else.
Definitely.
Been a few, haven't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, should we go over to questions then?
Yeah, just some questions.
Questions. We've got Christopher says, "Hi guys, with my growing obsession with display tools has led me to ask the question: have you ever considered becoming a UK seller? It would be great to be able to order most of their range from a trusted seller." Is that us? Sorry. And not have to wait for months to receive it from China directly. Cheers, Chris. Again, we have looked at it. Shipping costs, I'll be honest with you. It's very difficult for us to compete as a company when people turn around to us and say, but I can buy it cheaper direct, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the trouble we're in. We have to ship it from China to us and then obviously out to you guys, and the shipping costs are absolutely horrendous at the moment.
It's not, I'll tell you what, it's not that the exchange rate as well is absolutely on its backside for what you deal with to the Far East, as in China basically at the minute, as you will find out soon with prices of stuff. It's not worth it. It's horrible to say, but it's you've got to justify obviously where you put your money in. It's just not there at the minute because of certain factors that are in there. So whether that will change over the course of, obviously it fluctuates and everything else. At the minute, it's really, really expensive. Because we have discussed it, haven't we? We have discussed getting stuff in and perhaps selling the range, but it's not viable at the minute. Not for us as a company anyway, unfortunately.
No. Obviously as a company, we're always up against that thing where people can go off to China and buy it cheaper than we can sell it because they don't have the overheads like we have. And things like tools and that is a classic example. Yeah, you've got to wait weeks for it to turn up and you've got the gamble if it's going to get caught in customs. But, we don't want to then invest a lot of money into putting in a huge order to bring it in and then just be told, well, I'll get it cheaper from China. That's the trouble we've always got.
And we've all got unused display products, haven't we? So it's not as though it's not a company we don't like using. We've all got them. So
they're good tools. Yeah, I did think thought we had an outlet to get them through Meng. But that seems to have gone by to buy. You can get tweezers and little bits, but you can't get a lot of it, and they were kind of redoing it. So unfortunately, no, it's not something that they're definitely not this time we'll be looking into stocking anyway.
Obviously, if you're in Europe, Brevco do them, so that's the one. If you want to get them, I don't know how much they've got, but they always used to be the main European distributor or stockist for them. So obviously you can get them over there, and it obviously a bit quicker than coming directly from China. So,
there is a distributor over here that we're not going to mention to give advertising, but there is somebody who does sell them if you look around, isn't there? So,
Anyway, right. Chris says, "Hi guys, any plans on getting the 48 scale Academy Phantoms in again? In particular, the F4C. Again, Academy. It's the magic word. Trying to get Academy.
But various F4s are available from Academy, but the C isn't available at the moment. But the problem is the price. You're looking at 55 quid now for an Academy F4, whereas you're not paying that much more for a Zucamori one. Which is
again from my point of view, because obviously as things change, my opinion changed. My problem always was that I used to advise people to go out and buy the Academy one because the Zucamori one was really expensive, and it was a big difference between the two kits for not a massive gain for your money. But now the Zucamori ones have actually come down in price, and the Academy ones have lifted up a little bit. So now you're into that thing where there's not a lot in it. So if you did, you'd go for the Zucamori one because it's got a lot more detail than the Academy one. So bang for buck has changed over the last couple of years. So
you might be talking 15, 20 quid difference, but the Zucamori is a new tool kit.
Yeah.
And the Academy one's quite an old one now, isn't it? And not there's anything wrong with the Academy one, but the Zucamori one's definitely a better...
It always used to be with Phantoms. I always used to say Hasegawa because obviously they did them. Obviously that version would be the old raised panel line, so you wouldn't want it anyway. But you'd have those kits were really cheap. But even those now are like 70 odd quid. It's ridiculous for what they're charging for those ones, which really is an old school one. Then you got the Academy one came along, which actually bang for buck, and the detail with it is really, really nice. And then you had top of the tier was the Zucamori one, and now obviously we've got Tamiya as well getting involved, and I'm sure you're going to see more versions of those in the future come out. But anyway, it's one of those where I always sort of, from a review point of view, it's like bang for buck. How much is it worth? Is it worth paying another 50 quid for that amount of detail. And in my point of view, it wasn't. Not for what you were getting, but now they're very, very close. All of them, even the old Hasegawa ones, go for actually stupid money nowadays. So, you know, if you can, I would honestly look at the Zukamori one, because that's a fantastic kit. Very nice indeed. Right, Mark says, hello, gents. A couple of questions. Firstly, Modelsvit announced some time ago that they intend to produce a new tool, Mirage 4, 48 scale, for release in 2022. There are various images on the web and on their Facebook page. Whilst the situation in Ukraine has delayed several companies, Modelsvit now state that they're back up and running with supplies going through a warehouse in Hungary. Do you have any trade rumours on release date, and if this a manufacturer that you will have access to and able to stock as a pre-order for it?
We can get Modelsvit. The problem is we've got to get it out of Europe, and the price difference from somebody who does stock it is quite a big difference. So there's the honest answer to that. Can't answer that any other way. It's a very politician answer, but do you know what I mean? I can't name names and things, but we have had Modelsvit in before. We've had the little Mirages in, but we can't kind of compete price-wise from where we have to get it from to what it's sold from the UK distributor, if you want, or others, you know, the company that sells it. So, yes, interesting subject though.
Yes, it is.
Big old lump. That is going to be massive in 48.
Yeah, definitely.
I like Modelsvit because we were just looking at some of because they're part of, I think, is the AMP, who do the helicopters, who were doing the Canberra as well. There's a B2 Canberra coming out in 72nd, but an odd-looking helicopter as well that they're doing, and another version of the Husky and stuff. And I think they're all under the same umbrella anyway. And I like Modelsvit. I do like the subjects they do. I think they do some really
the details very nice as well. You know, I like Modelsvit. I say when we've done the reviews of them, they're just, you know, definitely up there.
And Matt likes the Mirage, and I think it's
he is a Mirage fan.
I think it's.
I like the Mirage. I do. I don't know, and the Mirage 4 as well, because we've seen that one at Elvington.
Yeah, one at Elvington.
That is,
it's huge, isn't it?
It is huge place. So 48.
Yeah, that's going to be a lump.
Big lump. You know, I think you're looking TSR 2 size in 48, aren't you? I reckon.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and it's a long, slinky thing as well.
Long, slinky, pointy thing with, you know, because I think the only other version is an old Hella one, and that is an old kit now. That's really old, and you know, we're not knocking raised panel lines because that's obviously the future. But you lay your work cut out. I think it's, you know, it's very basic and stuff. But I think that's even hard to get now. I don't even know if that's. I'm pretty sure it's not available.
No.
But even though they're sort of like the back up and running, they've probably still lost a good 4 months worth of production. This year. And how far back into production are they? So like compared to where they were before. Yeah.
Any production, if they anything out of the Ukraine, if they're producing it, to me is a bonus at the minute.
Absolutely,
you know, it can't be easy. It can't be a good situation. Full stop. So if if ICM and if Modelsvit are and Masterbot, Mini are any of them out there, you know, anything's a bonus at the minute.
Definitely. Right. Second, a friend recently sent me a link to some Meng glass files. Whilst small files have been in the modelling tool collection for some time, these are more like the size of Flory Sanders. A quick Google suggests Infinity also produce a set along with many other manufacturers who support the beauty industry. There's your clue. I'm just saying that. Just remember beauty industry. I'm curious if anyone has any experience with them, good or bad.
I can't understand what the medium. So like it's glass instead of metal.
Yeah.
What difference does it make if it's a certain grade of coarseness? Yeah. Then what difference does it make whether it's glass or metal?
I suppose. Sorry, mate. Because it's the beauty industry and they're used on nails.
Yeah, they want it to look nice.
You don't really want a metal file to file your nails. So I presume it must be more. Yeah. You know,
but for us as modelers, I can't see. Yeah, I think it's just I don't know, why glass instead of metal.
I don't know. I think it's one of them that needs investigating you're in, isn't it? Just to see, just pure a curiosity thing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I can speak for it because obviously, as an ex-manufacturer now, because obviously we don't manufacture anymore, but it's that thing where I was offered stuff like that all the time, donkeys years ago, to be honest. It's nothing new. This is one of those situations, again, where one of the manufacturers has gone through and gone, oh, well, look, we need a new line. What are we going to do? Oh, what about glass files? Because the nail industry has been using it for years. And that is the thing. Most, if not all, and I would say probably from my personal point of view, 95% of all sander manufacturers for the hobby industry, for our side of it, for scale modeling, use the beauty industry standard. So they use their standard grits, their standard files, their standard everything, and they just re-logo them up as being their own. And that's exactly what they do. When I used to manufacture, and I say I don't do it anymore. So, and it was that thing where we were one of the few ones that used to say, yeah, that's great, like it, but can we have it in this grit? So the testing I used to do, I used to have hundreds of different types of papers, and we would have samples made up for what my requirements were. So I would say, you know, like you always think of it like 220 grit is an industry standard for sort of a medium sander. So, but the trouble is when you're sanding your models with it, it may be, if you've got too fine, obviously if it's too fine a grit, it heats up the plastic and you end up melting your way through. Obviously, if it's too much, you're just ripping it to death. So your nail files are very close to styrene, and that's good enough for 95% of all manufacturers, and that's how they do it. But from my point of view, I was with the aviation side of it. So you might know that one of our buffers we used to do, the big one, was designed off of doing clear resin test technically on aircraft windows. That's what it's from. It used to be this big, and now obviously we used to have it made smaller, and so forth and so on with them. So that was it. But a lot of these ones you're seeing in these manufacturers are just going to beauty industry and saying, oh, can we have those? And can, instead of it having pink with stars on, can we have it black or blue or a normal color? And then also, instead of saying what grit it is, just put on there what, you know, it is, and that's it, and their logo, and then flogging it as an item, and that's what it all is. And those glass ones, I can guarantee you, will not be made in what I would say is scale modeling type grits. They'll be standard beauty ones. So if you want to have a go down to your local Tesco's and buy one of theirs and see how you get on with it, because I'm probably 99% sure every manufacturer out there does them at the moment. They're just beauty standard stuff because they're incredibly expensive to actually make and do. So for somebody to turn around and say, well, instead of having it in 220 grit, can I have it in 235 grit because it works better for what we need? None of them will do it because it will cost too much to manufacture.
It's very similar.
And they all come out of the same 10 factories around the world.
Yeah. But most of the things in our hobby are sort of like just sold other products, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, for example.
Yeah, it is. It's a stirrer,
it's
a coffee stirrer, a frother, a whisk. Yeah, absolutely. And micro brushes, all they are is, I haven't got it here now, I need to buy some, but micro brushes, these are eyelash glue sticks. You know, but somebody calls them a micro brush, and it's literally all of these things, and they all come with it, and it's just all rebranded. But this thing with glass files is something that's been around for the last 10, 15 years. It's industry standard for beauty, but now it's doing that thing of coming across now to actually on the, you know, this side of it. But I was offered them for donkey's years, and I have tried them, and to be honest, I don't get on with them. They're great for doing fine detail work and everything else, but that's the same as anything else. So, and they get in nice ones. I think if you're from a modelling point of view, if you go down the watchmaking route and look at their tools, you can get some very nice diamond files which will last forever. And you know, they're just fantastic for what they do because they're designed for what we do. It's not just hacking through resin and acrylic nails, which is what all these other ones are designed to do. I can say all this now. I'm no longer a manufacturer. It's fine.
See, I think you could do a show on your own about it.
I could have a right rant over these companies and tell you all of this stuff. And I sit here as a manufacturer. We were like probably the one and only company who used to make our own sanders and do it all. And like it was like, really, I can't believe they're flogging that when you can buy it for 20p. And they're charging how much for it? And I could literally go off and go to a Chinese manufacturer or a Korean manufacturer and say, right, can I have 40,000 of them? Because, you know, it's terrible, but that's just part of the world, I'm afraid. So I could have a rant like border models. It's what I'm going to do. When I retire, I'm going to have an entire week show called Behind the Industry, Behind the Scenes, what it's really like on this side of the fence. Dealing with these people. It's like, yeah. So, yes. But anyway, that's the thing with it. Honestly, if you want to try them out, Mark, pop down to Tesco's. They sell them in Tesco's and they're exactly the same thing. Go and have a go with them. See what you think. If they think they're any good, then obviously knock yourself out. They're great for doing small little detail work, absolutely. But if you're just carving through your model like most of us are doing, you're probably better off with the normal things. Right, Andy says, before I do go on a rant, long time no see. Hoping to sort this out next month. Why, has Andy been off somewhere? He's obviously been very busy.
I don't know if he's been on form for a while. Oh, right, okay.
I have a question regarding the weathering of a Bandai A-Wing. I recently picked up one from you guys. The specifics joint weathering. I'm sure I remember Phil saying about enamel thinners melts the plastic, doesn't melt it. And in this case, what product would you use on top of flooring models? Right, okay. Let's just say this gets asked a lot. It doesn't happen all the time. What tends to happen is if you put like enamel thinners, so say like X20 or whatever it is, onto Bandai's plastic, it seems to be if it's under pressure and it's like a joint that's pushing in. So if you've got, obviously Bandai, they tend to have large locating pins that you push in. What happens is when it's under pressure, the oil can penetrate into the plastic and it dissolves it. It literally doesn't melt it. It just crumbles to dust. And as you say, if you go back and have a look when I did the chicken walker, the ATST, that I came down, it just fell apart. It literally, and what it is, it's because of all the leg joints and it's in the ball joints and they just crumbled. And I hold it in my hand, you do this, and they turn to dust. And it's the enamel thinners, they're sitting in that joint and just eating. And they're penetrating into the plastic and it just crumbles the plastic, and that's why they give up. And if you go onto a lot of the Bandai forums, especially obviously the Japanese ones, things like that, they avoid it like the plague because it does do it, and it's a well-known thing that happens. So easiest way to get around it is that not to flood it on is the first thing. If you're going to be using it, use it very sparingly. If you use it like a pin wash, for instance, and you're using that type of technique, you won't have a problem. But if you're slapping it on liberally and it absorbs into these areas, it will crumble it. And in some cases, it's been found that people who have put on like washes and they've just slapped it on, a year later, everything starts to fall apart. So it's a long-term thing as well as a short-term thing. But if you seal it, put down, an acrylic coat on top or a lacquer coat or whatever it is as well, that will help stop it happening. But it's mainly when it gets into joins where they're under pressure and under load. So if you're going into an area where you have to push it in there tight, those might give up. But if it's on an A-Wing, there's nothing really that much which is going to affect it. It tends to be on things that are underweight as well. So ATSTs, walkers, Gundam figures, because obviously the way they're built. But normal fighters and stuff like that, you probably won't have a problem with it. But again, don't slap it on. Don't flood it on. Don't use it like a wash over the top unless it's thoroughly been sealed in. Otherwise, it can do it. But again, you can use other things. So, other ones you can use, obviously, oils, but using them dry. You can use them as pin washes with no problem at all, things like that. But literally just don't slap it over as a big soak-in wash and brush it liberally over your model, because that's when it tends to happen. Just if you're doing areas and things, you'll be fine.
Yep.
So yes.
Can't argue with that.
No, it's one of those weird ones where it's, it tends to be... I've had people and they say, well, I slap it all over. It's never affected me. You're very lucky. Because trust me, it's happened to me, and I know loads of people it's happened to as well. And as I say, funny enough, I know I don't build any, but I've got lots of people I know who do Gundam and Gunpla and all the rest of it. And, again, it's very well known. When I mentioned it at the time, they were all like, didn't you know? And I'm like, no one's mentioned it to me. Oh, yeah, don't do that. It's the plastic gets affected. And again, it's not all enamel thinners. If you go like the low odor ones that are a little bit more refined, they're not as bad. But if you're using quite a harsh enamel thinner, it will do it. Think of it this way, and I bet you guys have had it as well. Super glue. If you put enamel thinners near super glue, over time it crumbles it.
Yeah.
So, how many times have you done like gear doors and perhaps you've put them on your model and you use a little bit of super glue, and then you come around with enamel thinners and you've used it as a wash around your gear and suddenly your doors have all fallen off. That's what it is, because enamel thinners over time, it structurally gets into stuff, and say super glue is a classic example. It will crumble super glue over time. So it might not happen that day, it might not be a month, but you come down like a year later and you wonder why your ATAT's done a crash scene on hot. And that's why, it's embedded itself into something. That's why it'll be. So again, it's one of those ones. But as I say, seal it, you should be absolutely fine, and just don't slap it right the way over. So yes, good job. Right, there you go.
That's it.
Are we all done? Then?
Yeah, we're all done for this week.
Cool, very good. Don't forget, there's no show tomorrow, because obviously we did the show with Matt, which was all about paint. So if you missed the show with me and Matt yesterday, we were discussing paint from early dawn of enamel timlets right the way up to the latest lacquers.
From grinding rocks.
Grinding rock and handprints on a cave, right the way up to, literally the latest lacquers and hybrid paints and things like that. So if you haven't seen that one, obviously members, you can go off and see us yapping about that for over an hour. I think it was an hour and a quarter we did yesterday on that one, discussing all things paint and why we love certain paints and why we hate others, like tinlets. So,
I've got to deliver it. Go.
Okay then, guys, we'll leave it right there. Thank you very much for joining us today. Remember, you get all your bits and pieces as normal from the PM store. I'll put the links down below, and obviously if you're interested in any of the specials, grab them quick, because they're going to change tomorrow, are they?
Yeah, Thursday. Well,
Friday.
No.
So yes.
Yeah.
Friday. We'll get them sorted for Friday, so those will change out on Friday for the new one. So if you fancy anything, grab it before it changes over, because I'm not sure which ones will be changing over. We just had a delivery in. Matt just dashed off, so we've got some new stuff coming in. So obviously things like that, we'll be in touch with the people for pre-orders and stuff as well. So apart from that, we're all good. Right, okay then, guys, we will leave it right there. Happy modelling, take care. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.
Bye.